Howdy, folks, it's me, Larry the Watcher. Now, the last time we talked, I described time and space as a bunch of spaghetti noodles that had been strewn all about the floor in a haphazard manner so that they go every which way and overlap and all that stuff. Well, the boss didn't quite like that, and after having me into his office for a few choice words, I've been given the option to come back and correct my error, or he'd be forced to free up my future. Now, I made the argument that both time and space, well, it's all relative, and that the individual can choose for themselves how to define it. Of course, he argued that my career as a watcher, well, it was already on thin ice. I mean, what happened was that I'd failed to watch the great sand slug migration of 04 on Kurlan 6, which I have heard is quite the spectacle to behold, but well, my power had gone out the night before, and so my alarm didn't go off, and I slept through the whole thing. So here I am, towing the company line for fear of entering into the job market, and well, you can trust me, it ain't easy for a being like me with a head like mine and the ability to see all. It's not easy for somebody like me to find a career in times like these. So of course I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna read you the company line. I mean, I don't want to. Let's make that perfectly crystal 100% clear right here and now. I don't want to do this, but it ain't like I got a choice. I mean, I got a wife and all them baby watchers at home. I got to feed them, got to put clothes on them, got to pay the rent, got to pay utilities and all that stuff. So, well, here I go. Time, space, reality. It's a prism of endless possibilities, where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities, creating alternate worlds from the one you know. Follow me and ponder the question, whatever. I mean, what if? What if? Hello and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Just Another Fanboy. I'm your host. My name is Steven, and I'm back once again to talk about the Disney Plus show, What If? This time it's episodes 4 through 6, but like last time, I'm joined by Harold C. Jennett III. Before we get started, however, I wanted to take a moment and formally invite each and every one of you to join me over at the Patreon, where, if you're a member, you will have instant access to the other podcast I do, a show I call My Other Podcast. And it's something that I release once a week, and it's only available to my patrons. I have over 200 episodes available over there where I'm talking about a variety of subjects, such as comics, TV, music, and my own personal fears and issues when it comes to creating podcasts and making decisions and all that fun stuff. And guess what? It's all there waiting for you, and you can access it for just $1 a month. Other shows want you to pay $5, $10, even $15 a month for content like this, and I'm practically giving it away. Why? Because I'm insane. Did you like that? That was almost a commercial there. Anyway, come and join all the fun at patreon.com/StephenROr and join the Just Another Fan Club now. All right, that's it. That's my plug. That's my commercial. That's your moment of commerce. And with that out of the way, here's Harold and I talking about What If episodes 4, 5, and 6, as well as all kinds of other stuff. Enjoy. So, all right, I'm gonna officially start this. You ready? Here goes. Here we go. So, how you doing, Harold? Did you like that? That was me officially starting.
Wow. Usually I have to be quiet and hide until you've done the whole introduction.
No,
Notice I haven't interrupted your introduction in a while. I'm being a good guest.
Well, I do the whole introduction thing alone now.
Okay, so I can't. Okay.
That's right. You taught me not to. Well, and I don't know if you ever, I did a video with Frank from Half Hour Wasted.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And as I was introducing him, he got out an electric razor and started shaving his face.
Yes. Oh, that's even better than mine.
And then and then I did a video with Brad a few weeks later, and he tried to one-up him by actually lathering his face
with shaving cream and trying to shave with a razor, and it didn't work out at all.
Oh, how do you one up that? I think I would have to start taking my clothes off and giving myself a sponge bath.
Oh boy. Okay, so we are here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're recording.
Yeah, we're recording now. I don't know how much of that I'm going to actually use. Maybe I'll stick it at the end. I like to stick little fun stuff at the end, little Easter eggs for people, because I like to pretend that I'm clever. But we're going to talk about some more What If episodes 4, 5, and 6.
What if we talked about what if?
Whoa!
Yeah. Okay.
My mind is blown.
No, don't patronize me like that.
I apologize for my patronage.
Okay,
patronage is different.
So now this is where you plug your Patreon.
Patreon.com/Stephen R. Orr. Just $1 a month and you get stuff.
I
wrote that.
Golden.
That's what we in the business call improv. If you're listening to this, we're nodding our heads in unison. Is unison the correct word when there's no sound?
So when you edit this, every time we do a visual thing, you just need to put in this is where we're nodding our heads.
Harold and Stephen are nodding their heads together at the same time.
Yep. There you go. Anyway.
So what if episodes 4, 5, and 6? Now, all right, that's what we thought. Let's wrap up this episode and eat some cake. More improv there for you.
There's cake?
No.
Darn it.
No, I can't eat cake, man.
Why?
I'm trying to lose the weight.
Me too. I'm off sugar actually right now, off added sugar.
I'm not off sugar. I'm just trying not to add more sugar to I'm trying to keep certain things away. Anyway, so yeah. What if episodes 4 through 6? If y'all have been listening for a while, you know that Harold and I got together and talked about episodes 1 through 3. Look for that episode. The single most popular episode of season 5 thus far. And it's moved up the ranks it's in the top 50 now of all my episodes. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I have that draw, even though
you do.
I haven't been on anywhere in I have no internet presence for the last year and a half. So many people miss me so much. Yeah, they're like, holy crap, Harold's on the internet again. And then sound of stampeding feet. So, all right. So I'm going to assume based on your long raspberry that if we're speaking in general about these 3 episodes, you didn't care for them too much. I wouldn't say that. I'm exaggerating quite a bit.
I mean, for me, it was.
I can give you an overall right now. Okay, I'll just say this: the ending of the last 2. That's where most of my raspberry comes from, because
really?
It's so this is a 2-parter without a second part.
We don't know that. They have announced that there's going to be a season 2. I would like to think that season 2 is just not part 2 episodes of all the part 1s.
Actually, they said that the first 5 episodes are all getting sequels in season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
And please just give me a complete story. In both of them, those last 2, I'm waiting. I'm the credits came up. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Just 5. Could you? Okay, we'll get there.
I know we talked last time about reading the books, and I didn't read a lot of What If, but I feel like there were some What If stories that I read that ended kind of similarly. I can't say that word. And where it's basically they give you this story. They give you this, this is what happens because of the what if. But then as the story ends, it's this is the new world that has come about because of this. And it's very obvious that there's going to be a lot of big stories that could still be told in this world. But I will tell you that my thoughts on the 3 episodes, I didn't like 1, really liked 1, and 1 I just kind of thought, it's all right.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what, let's talk about the episodes individually. And
I'm still doing that thing where I don't read the title and I don't look at the credits just so I can be surprised. I kind of want to just see what starts happening and not know what that episode's about.
Yeah, same thing. I've been trying to avoid stuff online just so I could kind of be surprised when the episode starts about what the what if is. But episode 4 from September 1st of 2021, I don't need to say the year. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? After losing his girlfriend, Dr. Christine Palmer, in a car crash, Dr. Stephen Strange travels to Karmatage and learns the mystic arts. He discovers the Eye of Agamotto, which can manipulate time, but is warned by the Ancient One and Wong that doing so could destroy reality. 2 years later, Strange repeatedly attempts to use the eye to save Palmer, but she still dies in every scenario. The Ancient One tells Strange that Palmer's death is an absolute point in the timeline that cannot be undone. But Strange refuses to listen. Using the power of the dark dimension, the Ancient One splits Strange into 2 alternate versions. One Strange accepts Palmer's death, while the other discovers how to gain power by absorbing mystical beings, becoming Strange Supreme. The evil version overpowers the good Strange, absorbs him, and uses his power to resurrect Palmer, tearing reality apart. Strange Supreme begs the Watcher for help, but he refuses to intervene. Palmer disintegrates, and the universe collapses, leaving Strange Supreme to grieve alone. So yeah, this is the one that I was just like, yeah, I didn't like this one at all.
At all.
I guess the what if, the change, and it didn't even hit me until I watched a video about it. But there is a moment in the Doctor Strange movie near the beginning when he asks Christine to go to this event with him, and she says no. So the change in this universe is that she says yes. The problem I had with it is that at that point in the movie, you get no sense whatsoever that he has actual true feelings for her. That, I understand somebody, it's like, I'm going to ask this girl to go to this thing with me. There's a car crash. She dies. I can understand somebody being upset. But I don't know. It's like they're trying to get us to believe that at that moment that she dies, that's when he realizes, oh my gosh, this is the love of my life. And now I have to move heaven and earth to bring her back. And that's the whole part of this episode that I just didn't buy at all, because I didn't get that he had any real feelings for her in the movie until he became, a different person, until he learned to love himself. It was
can't love anyone else until you love yourself.
That's right.
That's my horrible Dr. Phil impression.
It was spot off.
Yeah. I actually liked the episode. I think the main thing I liked about it was that the end was so dark. I'm like, nah, this is a what if ending. This is a what if. Just nope, they're all dead, and he's just by himself forever. Welcome to what if. What I didn't like is I didn't like that she split him into 2 people. It was weird, and it just. I wanted to see him fight all the other people in the universe. I wanted to see the Avengers try to stop him. I wanted to see everyone. No one else even showed up. Yeah. And how is that not going to happen? Yeah, I wanted to see him destroy the Avengers and everyone, and I didn't like the split up thing. But I did like how he kept trying to over and over kept trying to save her, and it just didn't happen. I didn't really think about what you said until just now, like. I hadn't seen the movie in a while, so I kind of assumed that he had that much love for her. But I can see that being an issue. That didn't like her that much to let the universe end. It just didn't seem very realistic. But overall, I actually liked it. I really liked the fight sequence towards the end too. I thought that was really well done. As usual, I thought the animation was great. Yeah, the animation was great. Yeah, I think I don't know whoever voiced his love interest. I forget the love interest's name. I don't know if that was the original actress, but I kind of didn't like her voice because she kind of did that creaky thing where it just, I don't know, anytime, and that's just a weird Harold thing. Anytime someone talks like that, I just want them to never be on the show again or ever do voice acting again. But that's just me. I don't believe it was the same actress from the movie. I'm pulling up the cast info right now. Oh, they're just giving me the cast for Doctor Strange. That's not. But
well, it says it was Rachel McAdams, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that it wasn't her.
But and I was wondering if that was, how do you say, Benedict Cumberbatch. I was wondering if that was actually him, and it was, but it didn't sound like him to me for some reason. I don't know why. I thought, oh, they found someone that sounds really close to him. Like, oh, that was him.
That's kind of like with the dude that played the Collector.
Yeah.
In the second episode, I could have sworn that wasn't him, and turns out it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch played Doctor Strange, of course. Rachel McAdams, who was Christine Palmer in the movie. She does the voice. Tilda Swinton came back for the voice of the Ancient One.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty interesting stuff, man. And then Benedict Wong.
A little bit of a different. Yeah, Benedict Wong was definitely him.
That's cool. So I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. So basically, the premise of the movie is that he gets in the car crash, he ruins his hands, and because he is a completely selfish person and just his whole life revolves around what he does, he moves heaven and earth to try to get his hands back, and travels to the four corners of the globe and learns magic. And it's during that he realizes that there are more important things in the world, more important things than him, and his life takes a different path. But then in this episode, when she dies, it's like that transformation happened at that point. Her dying was like what made him, I guess, decide that there are more important things than me in this life. I guess I did actually really love her, and I'm going to travel the world and go to the four corners of the earth to try to find out how to bring her back. I don't know. I found it. Maybe it's because I have no love in my life. No, it's not true.
Edit out that part.
No, that's a joke. Everybody knows that's a joke. I don't know. I just had a hard time with that one aspect. I thought a lot of the rest of the episode was a lot of fun. I agree with you, though. I didn't even think about that. The potential of other characters, him and, yeah, they spent all this time with him, quote unquote, battling other mystic figures to absorb their energy. And it was just such a quick sequence, one after the other. And I would have liked to have seen him go up against some of the characters, some of the mystical, magical characters from the DCU. But
yeah,
I guess
not the DCU have been really cool.
That would have been more fun.
Wow, Batman. Actually, Superman wouldn't last very long because he can't handle magic.
I'm sorry, on my second monster, it's gone to my head.
Okay.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I felt like when he was going through all his monsters, I started to feel like Pokemon.
Right?
I choose you, demon.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Because they started looking like Pokemon. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Now, Strange Supreme is a thing, though, right? Wasn't he called that at one point in the comics? I feel like that's an actual.
No idea. Well, it's my turn to do the Google. You keep talking. I'm going to look up Strange Supreme.
All right, you look up Strange Supreme. But
it's the mystery menu item at Taco Bell.
Oh, really?
No, I made that.
No, okay, that's funny.
It's pretty good though.
See, that's improv.
Why is Riddler on this page? Oh, it's saying that there's a spoiler. Okay, whatever. This web page uses Riddler whenever there's a spoiler. Whatever.
No.
It's really only showing the What If episode. That might be.
Yeah, so it must not be from the comics.
Or this is a horrible website and they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, they did. I know that they didn't mention it in any of the videos. Well, the video that I watched about it when they point out all the Easter eggs from the episode. So I would assume that if it had ties to the comics, they would have mentioned it there.
Yeah, the only ties I see is I just see it for What If, the animated series.
Yeah. All right. I just felt very similar for some very not similar, familiar for some reason when I read
That's the word. You nailed it.
So, okay. So let me ask this before we move on to the next one.
First, a man and a woman fall in love.
Of the 3 episodes, 4, 5, and 6, where would you put this? 1, 2, or 3? 1 being 2. The best. 2?
2. Maybe 1. No, 2.
See, for me, it's number 3.
Okay. I was gathering that from how, it sounds like this was your very least favorite.
Yeah. All right, let's do episode 5 from September 8th. This was called What If Zombies?
I knew this one was coming. I forgot. I happily forgot, though. I thought this one, I kind of knew that the most recent one with Killmonger, I knew that was another one that was coming up. I thought that was this one for some reason.
Yeah.
Because when Tony showed up, the Iron Man thing showed up, I thought it was Killmonger in the Iron Man suit for some reason. I was like, oh. And then there was zombie, like, oh, good. It's this one. Anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, I knew this one was coming up. So Hank Pym, I'm going to start that over. Hank Pym finds Janet Van Dyne in the quantum realm, and she infects him with a quantum virus. They return to Earth and cause a zombie apocalypse. 2 weeks later, a group of survivors, Bruce Banner, Hope Van Dyne, Peter Parker, the Cloak of Levitation, Bucky Barnes, Okoye, Sharon Carter, Happy Hogan, and Kurt learn there is a potential cure at a camp. They lose Hogan, Carter, and Hope to zombie attacks on the way there, where they meet Vision. His Mind Stone can reverse the virus, exemplified by a cured Scott Lang's head kept alive in a jar, but an infected Wanda Maximoff is immune to the cure, and Vision has been feeding pieces of T'Challa to her. Maximoff breaks free and kills Kurt, Okoye, and Barnes. Vision commits suicide to give the Mind Stone to Parker. Banner transforms into the Hulk and battles Maximoff, allowing the others to escape. To broadcast the Mind Stone's energy across the planet, Parker, Lang, T'Challa, and the Cloak go to Wakanda. Meanwhile, a zombified Thanos wields a nearly complete Infinity Gauntlet. Thoughts?
I didn't get that very last scene with Thanos. Before I say anything else about that, I was like, what's that about? Was he a zombie?
Yeah.
He was zombified, right?
Yep.
So they said something like they saved their world only to put the universe. I forget what the last line was. All I know is I was really confused by that last scene.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, Thanos is in Wakanda. So they're rushing to Wakanda with that last Infinity Stone that he needs.
Oh.
And he's there as a zombie waiting for them.
Okay. Anyway, I'm getting ahead. So.
Thoughts?
Okay. Overall, I really liked this one. I was surprised how I think they did a good job making it gross without making it gross, as it's a zombie thing. I liked it. I think they shoved in too much humor at points in it where the humor wasn't necessary, and they kind of ruined the darker aspects of it. Maybe they did it on purpose, trying to be careful it wasn't too creepy, but I think that they had, like, I remember Robert Kirkman's original Marvel Zombies, and that got real dark. I'm glad it didn't get that dark, but I just feel like it was a Scott Lang part when his head came out. He just kept making one-liners over and over, and at one point I was getting really irritated. Like, enough. Like, they're just making too many jokes with him at moments where, like, they should just let it be a little more serious for a while, and he was getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
I thought Peter was being I know Peter cracks jokes a lot, but I still felt like there's just a little bit too much levity in it where it kind of seems almost inappropriate. I mean, I liked the humor. I liked it when Happy Hogan was like going bang, bang, or blam, blam with the repulsor blaster. Like, I liked the humor. I just think it was too much. And I also thought, again, it would just cut off. Like, I know that they only have so much time for the story. I'm glad that they didn't rush it. But at the end, I was just like, again, the credits came up. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, I want to know what happens next. And I can see what you're saying. But like, you can get the idea that this is their new world now. But I would have at least liked to see if they'd cured people. It was really good overall. That's me being kind of nitpicky. I think the thing that bothered me the most was Scott Lang just started getting a little bit annoying. but I really liked it otherwise. I really liked it when he hulked out, and they never showed him lose. Like,
yeah,
there's a good chance Hulk could have just destroyed all of those zombies. I like to think the Hulk just saved the world at the end, and that's the unwritten, unshown ending, is that a Hulk just kept rampaging until there were no zombies left. But that was cool. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen a little bit, a few more minutes, or at least a few more seconds of him fighting Scarlet Witch, because that was cool. I liked Hope saving them in the train.
Yeah.
I liked when Falcon died and Bucky wasn't that upset.
Right. I think I'll say this. It was my favorite of the 3 episodes. I rather enjoyed all the humor. I thought this was a fun time romp through the zombie universe. But it does suffer from what I think all the episodes at this point have suffered from. It's that it's almost too big of a story for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And
again, I'll say that I don't, overall, I didn't mind the humor. It was, if I had to pick something, it was Scott Lang. He just made 2 or 3 too many jokes. Like, it was like, just stop. Like, he kept making the dad joke. Oh, I did it again. Oh, I did it again. Like, yeah, you did do it again. Can you stop?
Yeah,
I thought he was generally funny at first. I didn't mind. It's just, someone in the boardroom decided, do another Scott Lang joke. This is good. The kids like it. I don't know. Anyway.
Two of his were the best, though, when the first of all, the fact that the cloak is a character just cracks me up.
That was good. I like that.
And when it wraps around the tank that's holding his head, and so it's just like his head in a cloak, and he makes a comment about, it's like I'm back at prom, just means that he wore a cape to his prom, which is funny. And then when the building blows up or something and he's flying out and he goes Expelliarmus or whatever he says.
My son laughed.
Yeah. It was very funny. It was no, Wingardium Leviosa is what he said, because it's the levitating spell. But I really enjoyed Peter Parker's video on how to survive a zombie apocalypse. That was funny, especially the part with Bucky. Or no, it was the part with Happy Hogan, where he's wearing the T-shirt, because he's like, don't wear short sleeves. And of course, he's playing this video for Bruce Banner, and Bruce Banner spends the rest of the episode still in his short sleeves. So he just ignored the video altogether. Nobody offered to give him some long sleeves. He just spent it with short sleeves the entire time because he was wearing one of Wong's outfits. What I also found from this episode is that a lot of the ideas that they put in there didn't make a lot of sense. But for me, the episode was so much fun that I didn't care. For example, the zombie virus gets out because Hank Pym goes to get Jennett in the quantum realm, and she has been infected by a virus in the quantum realm. Okay. Excuse me, I've had throat problems.
Weird way to come up with a zombie virus, but I thought, well, why not? We don't really know where it came from anyway.
I like that idea, but in the second Ant-Man movie, the only reason they were able to locate her in the quantum realm was because she was able to communicate through Scott. So if she's infected by a zombie virus, how is she telling them where she is?
Yeah.
So we either have to assume that they found her using some other means, which if that's the case, they should have told us that. Or we have to assume that because time works differently in the quantum realm, after she communicates with Scott and shows them how to find her, then she gets infected. That's all I can assume. The videos that I watch, Screen Crush, he pointed out that when what's the big Norse dude's name that sends Idris Elba, the guy who can see everything? Why can't I think of his name?
If you weren't having trouble remembering, I would remember it. But when other people can't remember stuff, it's like you get infected by them not remembering it now.
But he sends the Hulk or Bruce Banner back to Earth while they're on that ship with the Asgardians. And the fact that he can see everything Did he not know that there was a zombie outbreak on Earth when he sent him there? Did he not notice that? Or the only way this guy could explain it was it took 2 weeks for the zombie outbreak to take effect. Nobody has ever said that when, what's his name, the Asgardian dude, sends somebody through one of those portals that it's instantaneous. Maybe Bruce Banner was traveling for 2 weeks through space, but I don't buy that either.
I don't.
So
I don't either.
that was one of those things that I'm just like, whatever. But I really enjoyed the reveal of Doctor Strange, Wong, and Iron Man as zombies. How they're fighting the two Thanos bad guys, and you don't see them. And Bruce Banner's like, yeah, you guys are in trouble now. And then suddenly they start eating them. And he's like, whoa, you guys are maybe going a little overboard there. And then we find that they're zombies. I also really enjoyed Hope Van Dyne, her use of the ants to devour zombies, just strip their skeletons of their flesh. That was really cool.
Why didn't she just keep doing that?
I don't know. That's a good question. Okay. It's like they had to come up with different things to keep it interesting. They just kept doing that throughout the episode. That would be boring. It was also pointed out that in the scene where Spider-Man is trying to create the slingshot for the subway car, and he's pulling on the webs and he's walking deeper and deeper into the subway tunnel, and those zombies creep up on him and almost get him. Evidently, something is wrong with his spider sense. Or it doesn't work against zombies. I don't know.
Maybe, or he just knew they were there, but he didn't have a choice. But he did seem surprised.
But this was one of my favorites. This is probably
my favorite too of the three.
It's my favorite of the three, and it's one of my favorites of the first six so far. I just thought it was a lot of fun. Even though it was a bit over the top at times and had premises in it that had it not been so fun, I would have argued against.
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I think that these stories are getting to be too big to finish them in time.
I agree.
Which is frustrating me a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that, I find it, I'm actually kind of a little disappointed now that you've mentioned that 5 of these episodes are going to have sequels in the next season. It's like,
I mean, maybe it was a rumor and I was wrong. But.
Well, it's great that we're going to see more of the story, but at the same time, to me, What If is like, it's an anthology series. You get a different story with each episode. So I don't know, but I
do want to see Sharon Carter's Avengers.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
And then, of course, the Vision feeding pieces of T'Challa.
I'm surprised they kept that from the comics. That's one of the darkest things from that comic book.
And I will say, it's been a while since I've read the comic. And while it was a very dark comic, there was a lot of humorous moments in it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did something, it's like with the show, with this episode, it's like they tried to, because in the comic book, they were zombies, but they still knew, they were still sentient enough that they could speak. They knew what they were doing. They just had different motivations. Their motivation was to eat brains and stuff, but they were intelligent. They knew how to use their superpowers, all that stuff. And it's like they tried to do that with the show, but they didn't want to go that extra mile. So it's Tony is a zombie and he knows how to use his armor. Doctor Strange knows how to cast all these magical spells, and yet at the same time, they're mindless zombies. Yeah. So maybe the way they use their powers is such an instinctive thing at that point that it doesn't matter that they're mindless zombies. It's instinct to them to be able to know how to use the armor and do the spells and all that junk. But
yeah,
I also, if you noticed, Hawkeye was not a very good shot as a zombie.
No, he kept missing.
Yeah. Oh, and the way Bucky took out Cap, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. This is probably, I don't know if I would put this above the Captain Carter episode, but those two are a close.
Yeah, and I
close
also like
tie
the Star
for
Lord,
my favorite
Star Lord
issue.
one a lot too. Still,
yeah, that's a good one. All right, anything else you want to say about this episode?
I don't think so.
Looking at the voice cast,
Scarlet Witch was really good. She was very intimidating.
Yeah, she
voice
was
cast, sorry.
Creepy. Well, everybody came back to voice their various characters except for Peter. Spider-Man was voiced by someone named Hudson Thames or Thames, however you want to pronounce it, and then that Steve Rogers dude.
Yeah,
but everybody else came back. Which
not that he had to sound like cool. Steve Rogers, because he just had the thing. I don't think he talked. Oh, he may have talked when they showed the Avengers first fighting the zombies. Yeah,
possibly. Oh, and Kurt from the Ant-Man movies. I really love that he was in this. That the Russian dude that worked for Scott's security company. Yeah, he was Woken Up Man. I love that he, of all the characters for them from the movies to go, okay, we need one more person to be on the team that survived. How about Kurt from Ant-Man? What, the Russian guy that hacked into the computers? Yeah, let's just use him. All right, we'll use Kurt. I really enjoyed that. I liked his inclusion.
Yeah, it wasn't like they just picked all the most popular things the kids would like.
Right.
What would sell the most action figures?
And I like that Happy Hogan had a repulsor thing on his hand, and he pretended to cock it like a shotgun.
Yes. I didn't get that at first because I didn't realize that was the repulsor.
Right? It's like, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? That's weird. All right. Episode 6 from September 15th. I just watched this for the first time this morning. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? In Afghanistan, Tony Stark's military convoy is ambushed by the Ten Rings, but he is saved by Eric Killmonger Stevens. Returning to Stark Industries with Stark, Killmonger exposes Obadiah Stane's involvement in the ambush before helping Stark build a humanoid combat drone using vibranium. Needing more vibranium to create a drone army, they arrange for James Rhodes to purchase it from Ulysses Klaue. At Killmonger's behest, Klaue leaks word to the transaction. Klaue leaks word of the transaction to Wakanda to lure in T'Challa. Killmonger kills T'Challa and Rhodes, staging it to look as if they killed each other. Stark confronts Killmonger using the drone, but Killmonger defeats it and kills Stark, making it look like a Wakandan attack. Killmonger then kills Klaue before reuniting with his estranged family in Wakanda. Thaddeus Ross sends the completed drone army to attack Wakanda to avenge Rhodes and Stark, but Killmonger leads the Wakandans to victory. Afterwards, Killmonger consumes the heart-shaped herb and becomes the new Black Panther. As the United States prepares to eradicate Wakanda, T'Challa's sister Shuri visits Stark's assistant Pepper Potts, who was suspicious of Killmonger. Hoping to avoid further conflict, Shuri proposes to reveal Killmonger's deceit to the world. Thoughts?
And I feel like they never really explained how Shuri found that information. She just shows up in Pepper Potts' office, and
because she's a genius.
Because the thing,
it's like it's magic. We don't have to explain it.
This is my least favorite episode.
Yeah, of all of them, or just of this block?
All of them.
Really?
I don't like Killmonger. I never liked that character anyway. I'll even go as far as to say I didn't care for Black Panther movie as much as most people did, but I just didn't like that character. But I didn't hate it. It's just it's my least favorite. It just seemed like, hey, now he's putting these guys against these guys and these guys against these guys, and it's just all this long thing for him to get revenge. Yeah. I don't know. And then the ending, even my son, he was more bothered by this ending than the zombie one, and that was very anticlimactic. Now we'll find out what happens next time. But I didn't really like it. I guess maybe I didn't remember what his motivations were anyway. But yeah, well, I didn't like this one.
This one wasn't my least favorite of the three. However, at the same time, I feel like this is one that they came up with the title before they had any ideas for the episode. And it's like, all right, we need another episode. Throw out some what ifs. What if Killmonger? Yeah. I personally, I like
the hat and put in some names.
We got Killmonger and Tony Stark. Okay, how do we put those two together?
Yes, that's how I felt.
I like Killmonger. I like the character. I liked Black Panther up to the point where they started fighting while they were falling. I've always hated that trope. It's like, we're falling to the death, but we hate each other so much we're going to continue punching each other as we plummet.
And I didn't hate that movie. I enjoyed it. I just didn't love it as much as most people I know loved it. I should rephrase that. And I didn't hate Killmonger. It was kind of, I guess it was. That's how I felt about it. Like, I just didn't feel like, I don't know what it is. Hard. I don't know. I'm not sure why. But I think
No, go ahead.
No, I just think that my kind of lukewarm feeling about Black Panther carried over into this episode. I don't know how much of that was colored by that, by my pre-existing opinion of that movie. I don't know if that made sense, but anyway,
this episode
is based on a movie I didn't like, so maybe I just decided not to like it at first, and kind of like.
That's a valid point. That's a fair point. You know, if it's based off of a movie and characters that haven't really done anything for you, it's going to be hard to get into an episode like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My expectations were pretty low because I had heard the title for that one before. I liked it more than I expected to. I'll put it that way, because I thought I was really not going to like it. Like, there were enjoyable parts of it. It just seemed random. It's just kind of.
It did. It seemed really convoluted. It's like they tried to fit. This might have been really good if it was a 2-hour movie, because they had a lot. They really had to pack a lot in there for that first 30 minutes. And because of that, so much happens so fast. Like, well, for example, he literally goes from saving Tony Stark to killing Tony Stark to, well, saves Tony Stark, kills T'Challa, kills Tony Stark, goes to Wakanda, saves Wakanda, and then suddenly he's the new Black Panther. And that just happened way too fast. And you have to watch an episode like that, knowing that, all right, there's so much more happening between these scenes. Obviously, T'Challa's father isn't going to just suddenly go, oh, you know what? You just showed up. Granted, you helped us fight these guys, but you've only been here for an hour. I'm going to make you the Black Panther anyway. Granted, he is the guy's nephew, but at the same time, this is the same. Killmonger is the same guy that T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, is that his name? He's known about this dude. He's known that he knew he was out there, and he hid that fact from everybody in Wakanda. He admits it in this episode. And yet once he arrives, he's like, hey, here's my nephew that I just never told anybody about because of some shadowy reason. But now that he's here, you're like my new son. It just happened way too quickly.
Worst.
And I don't know. I've always liked Killmonger. I like Killmonger so much that, with knowing now that with, of course, Chadwick Boseman passing away, I wish that Killmonger's character could have had a much different arc in that first movie, so that by the end of it, he didn't die and was maybe redeemed in some fashion, so he could be the new Black Panther in the new movie. However, the rumor is that Shuri is going to be the new Black Panther, and I find that very interesting. But here's what I didn't like about the movie. I'm just going to say this. When I saw that it was, what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark, my first thought was, oh, this might be really interesting. Let's see what they do with this. And then it felt like they just took a big poop on it, because there was just way too much story. for such little time. There was way too much happened.
Yeah. I felt like I was having trouble following what was going on, and normally I don't really have trouble with that. I feel like I really like when Black Panther showed up and beat the crap out of all those people until Killmonger came along and used his sonic thing. But and it was nice hearing Chadwick Boseman. Is that how I say his name? Yep. It was nice to hear his voice again too. I almost wish when Killmonger took that herb and went into that like spirit realm that they just were like, you're stuck here now. Like if they had some power to just keep him there and he's in a coma now and they saved the day.
It's like, what up, cousin? You killed me. You're staying here.
Yeah. I thought that was who does Pepper Potts' voice in the movie? Really well known. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
I thought I had read that she came back for this. So when she first started talking, like, man, she's phoning it in, because she just kind of sounded like everything she said just kind of sounded boring. And I think I figured out by the end of that episode, I think it was someone trying really hard to sound like Pepper Potts. And I think that Pepper kind of would sound disgusted with Tony and kind of would talk like she's frustrated with him, but she did it with like a lot more charisma. And I don't think I think whoever was doing this part was trying to act disgusted with Tony and act frustrated, but didn't know how to do it. Cause I just feel like the whole time she just kind of sounded like she was just talking, like she was just,
that was
like hashtag you're doing the wrong thing. Like I'm just a high school teenager that just has about one voice and one tone. I'm going to talk like this the whole time. Like what? Anyway.
It was someone by the name of Beth Hoyt.
Okay. Well, Beth Hoyt, maybe you're a wonderful actress, but I didn't like you in this at all. She was too monotone. I think I'm over describing it. She was too monotone. And
everybody else came back to voice their characters except for Jeff Bridges, Gwyneth Paltrow, and then Letitia Wright, who is Shuri.
And Tony Stark, the guy that does Tony Stark's voice, though, I think he does a really good job.
He does and he doesn't. There are moments when it's like, okay, that's Tony. And then there are moments when I'm like, that's kind of Jack Black. I don't know what it is, but
maybe he's trying too hard.
That's weird. He is not listed in the credits on this website at all.
Who?
The guy who played Tony. It's like they just left him out, even though the title of the episode is "What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark?" It's like, oh yeah, we left one of the main characters off of our list of credits.
I didn't realize this is the last episode of this season.
Is it? I thought there were 9 episodes.
I hope you're right. Maybe what I looked up meant how many there are so far. Nope, number of episodes 6. But maybe it means how many so far. I hope that there's more.
Yeah, because I originally read that there were going to be 10.
It's 9.
Okay,
I'm glad you're right.
And then something happened, and they weren't able to do that 10th episode, so it's going to be 9. But even freaking, I know Paul Bettany was Vision in the zombie episode, but he also did the voice of Jarvis in this episode, and it's very much you barely hear Jarvis. It's like one little moment in the background.
Yeah, it was funny. Harrison said, "Jarvis sounds like Vision." Like, usually he has to correct me when I'm wrong about Marvel stuff, but it's one time, hey buddy, that's the same person. Remember?
Same guy, man. Same guy.
I was told I look like Paul Bettany.
Oh yeah, I see it.
I was also told I look like Tim Curry, and that didn't make me happy, but oh well. You can't win them all.
I've been told that I look like a big stupid idiot, but
that's not very nice.
I told my wife to stop saying that, and she promised she would. Joking again. Everybody knows that.
You know she's right
my
behind
wife and I love each other. Oh, she did that. I was recording an episode. I ended up using it as a like a blooper thing at the end, but I'm sitting here recording, I'm talking, and I sent something right next to me, and I turn, and her face is like right there next to mine, and I went ah. And
were you genuinely scared and surprised?
It scared me. I told her she's lucky she didn't get shanked. Don't come creeping up on me like that. I'd have cut you. But I keep saying, this was not. I think What?
You sure this was not your least favorite? You know what? I shouldn't.
I feel like, it's like, I feel like the way I'm talking about it, it sounds like it should be my least favorite of the three. But I mean, I stopped paying attention to a lot of the Doctor Strange episode. It just wasn't doing anything for me. It just wasn't holding my interest at all. And when I find that I'm looking at my phone and I have to rewind 10 minutes of the show because I've stopped paying attention, that's not a good sign.
Okay.
I think that's really the only reason I've chosen the Doctor Strange episode as the one I liked least out of the three. I have the most issues with this Killmonger episode. And again, I think it's just mainly for me, it's just they tried to fit too much.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
In that one episode. I mean, I get it. But again, I think they came up with the concept first and they said, okay, well, we got to figure out, he rescues him. Okay, so what does that mean for the future of Iron Man? And what does that mean for the future of Black Panther? And so it's like they had to tell they had to retell the Iron Man origin story, which is there is no Iron Man. Instead, it's some drones. And they had to retell the Black Panther origin, which is Black Panther. For some reason in this version, T'Challa becomes the Black Panther much earlier because this is supposed to be set around the time of the first and second Iron Man movies. I mean, Shuri is a little kid, and yet he's already Black Panther, and he only becomes Black Panther. Well, actually, I don't know that. Well, yeah, because he doesn't get the magic juice until after his dad dies in the first movie or in the Black Panther movie. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Just way too much for me. Way too much.
I'm enjoying the show overall a lot.
I am too. I look forward to it each week. Not as much as I was looking forward to like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I for example, this last episode, I didn't watch it on Wednesday. I didn't watch it until yesterday or this morning.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
So in general, we could say that we're fairly pleased with the show in general. Some of the episodes have disappointed and confused us.
Yeah. I'll just say over and over, though, I'm really impressed by the acting and the animation and just the quality of it. It just doesn't seem like... At first, I'm like, oh, they're going to make an animated series? Okay. I mean, I get it. It would be probably incredibly expensive to make it live action and to bring all those people back, but...
Well, when you can't help but do some kind of comparison with the DC Universe direct-to-DVD animated movies, which for me, some of the animation has been great and some of it has just been horrible.
Yeah, and I think, I feel like Batman especially just does not look good in the last few of them. And I think some of the people on their animation team have even said as much, that they're just not... he doesn't look as cool as he used to be. And they keep changing the voice actors on him.
Yeah.
Some of them don't fit him very well.
No, sometimes they get it right and sometimes they don't. Did you watch the Dark Knight Returns?
Yes.
That guy, the RoboCop dude, was perfect, I thought.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't expect to like that one as much as I did. My favorite animated Batman is Under the Red Hood.
I don't know if I've watched that whole thing. I need to watch it.
It's great.
I tried to watch Gotham by Gaslight the other night, and I just couldn't get that far into it.
I haven't seen that one. I love that. That was like the first Elseworlds, right?
Heck yeah. I mean, it's Mike Mignola, and it doesn't look like Mike Mignola when I found out they were doing an animated version, I thought, oh my gosh, could you imagine Mike Mignola's artwork animated? Oh, so nice.
And sometimes they do a good job of like the Hellboy movies. Don't they try to make that look like his artwork? Slightly, yeah.
But
I forget what Gotham by Gaslight looks like. I mean, I remember what the art looks like. I'm going to get the trailer up because I want to see what it looked like. I'm sure it looked like not like how it should. That's not too bad.
It's not. I mean, here's the thing with those movies. When you're just looking, are you just looking at stills?
No, I'm watching it.
Okay, so you're actually watching it.
That's not Mike Mignola though.
No, not at all. And maybe I'll give Red Hood a try today since it's Batman Day.
Oh no, you're right. That's not great.
No,
that's not great. I mean, it's not bad animation, but compared to the original stuff,
I just feel like with a lot of their animated movies, they're using the same studio. Yeah. Whether or not the art style changes, the actual animation process is done by the same studio every time. And there are certain things that they do, and there are certain ways that they make like vehicles move and stuff that just doesn't seem right.
Yes.
And it just keeps that off-putting animation for me when it like a freaking airplane flying across the sky or a car driving along the road. It's repeated.
Like the wrong angle and it looks weird.
Yeah, exactly. It's the wrong angle, and because of the angle, it's moving the wrong direction almost away from the camera, and it doesn't work. And they just keep repeating those mistakes
Or they use computer animation, which looks better, like angle-wise, like it looks more realistic, but it also doesn't seem to fit in very well with the animation. And this animation's too bright and colorful, and
right?
Yeah, it doesn't fit into this is Jack the Ripper and dark, dirty back streets of London, and then you get this bright, colorful, cel-shaded look.
That's what and here's the thing about Mike Mignola, when I can never pronounce his name correctly. When he's at his peak, when he's really doing it right, the colors that you see, like in a Hellboy book, are really bright, but there's so much black that it almost dull. It's gorgeous.
And I'm looking at this, all the lines are the same width. And there's no shadow. And everything's kind of blocky. It kind of has that Batman the Animated Series look almost, and just doesn't fit. Anyway,
and there's this new Justice Society. They did a Justice Society movie, which I don't think has come to HBO Max yet.
Did it come out?
I think it's been released, but it hasn't come to HBO Max yet. But they would show the stills, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this looks gorgeous." But then I watched the trailer, and the animation just didn't do anything for me.
How did I not know about this?
I don't know, dude.
Is it out now?
I think.
It is. How did I not know about this?
I just don't know.
You know, so the artwork reminds me of the guy that does the Invincible comic.
Yeah. The artwork looks great, and the still images from the thing looks great, but I just remember watching the trailer going, but the animation just didn't do anything for me. Maybe I need to give it another try.
Oh, you mean like the way it's moving? Like if you froze a frame, like, oh, that looks good, but the way it's actually moving, I can see that.
Yeah.
This.
So let's switch back to Marvel real quick. Have you watched?
Listening to our Justice Society Batman by the Gaslight episode.
If anybody has listened to any of the episodes that you've ever been on, they should be used to this by now. We spend the first part of the episode talking about what we're supposed to talk about, and then we spend the back half talking. Once we're done with the main topic, we talk about other stuff. Have you watched the trailer to the new Hawkeye show yet?
No, I haven't. And part of me wants to not watch it so that I can really, really be surprised by whatever I see. But I feel like I need to watch it, especially the Captain America Broadway show.
There's one quick moment from that, and it's just Captain America or Steve Rogers holding the shield on stage with other Marvel Universe characters, and he does a twirl. It looks so good.
Oh. And it looks like they didn't have a great budget for this production.
Right. Either. I think it's supposed to be making fun of that Spider-Man Broadway movie that Broadway play, that Spider-Man one that they tried to do.
That, and did you know that there was in production a Captain America musical?
Yeah.
Years ago. I have a comic book with the ad, and they actually you could win a part on it. And Captain America's got a cane and a hat, and he's like kind of doing like dance on the stage for the advertisement, and kind of glad that never happened.
I don't get that kind of thing, because when I read comic books, the first thing I'm not thinking is, man, if they would just put this to music, if Cap would just break out in song. Yeah. It's like I love when Spider-Man and the Green Goblin fight, but man, if they would just do it to a tune and dance, if they would dance fight, that would be even better. It's the only thing keeping this.
Dance in the third movie a little bit.
Well, yeah, then that was pretty sweet. But yeah, I don't think the trailer for Hawkeye gives you too much about the show. Did you ever read the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run?
No, I've read a couple of times where like people on Reddit would post like a really funny page. It looked good. I never read it. Is it based on that?
It looks there looks to be a lot of stuff in the trailer that they have pulled from that run. Now I say that I'm just reading it now. I'm up to maybe issue 6. I might be on issue 7. I think there are 22 issues in total in that run. And I don't know how many issues David Aja actually does. I know that when anybody ever talks about that run, they say the Matt Fraction David Aja run. But 6 issues in, he's only done 3 of the issues. 7 issues in, maybe he's only done 3 of the issues. So he must come back, go off and on a lot. But I would have to assume that of all the artists on that run, he does more than the other artists. But he does the first 3, and it's a lot. It's a fun book so far. And I had mentioned online that when the Wheel of Time series starts up in November, that I'm looking forward to that so much that when that starts back up in November, Just Another Fanboy is going to go back to 2 episodes a week, because I'll do 1 episode about that week's episode of Wheel of Time, and then I'll just do a regular episode about comic books or whatever. And then I watched the frickin' Hawkeye trailer, which also comes out in November. And now I'm like, oh my God, do I have to do 3 episodes a week now? Because Hawkeye looks so good. Yeah. Hawkeye looks so good that I think if the show ends up being as good as the trailer, it's going to be my favorite of the series so far, because it looks so good. And it's set at Christmas time, which is funny because a lot of people think it's because it's set in New York during Christmas and the trailer has a Christmas song playing during it. There's been a lot of people online that are saying, oh, it's really influenced by Die Hard. No, not at all. He's not trapped in a building. The entire show is not him fighting terrorists in a building. It's just set during Christmas in New York. Guess what? A lot of movies are set during Christmas in New York.
Home Alone 3. Was it a third one?
Home Alone 2.
Was that 2?
Yeah, he's in New York.
Oh.
That was based off of Die Hard, though. I think Die Hard was based off the Home Alone movies, frankly.
No, because Die Hard was good.
Die Hard's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Die Hard's one of those movies that it's like, I can't wait till my kids are old enough to watch it. And now that they're old enough to watch it, I don't want them to watch it because I know they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's old.
Yeah. I think this might.
Nowadays, kids nowadays would watch it and they'd be like, well, why doesn't he just use his phone to call the police?
Yeah.
Why don't he just text somebody?
Yeah.
Just get on FaceTime. Why didn't he just tweet about it?
Yeah, but then the bad guys would see him tweeting and know where he was.
Exactly. It's like we're following his movements through the building because of his Instagram posts. That would be a great Die Hard movie. Your son has left the room.
He has left the room. Probably has to go to the bathroom or something. He's playing video games.
For those listening at home, Harold's son is in the background playing video games. He has left the room. That was your Harrison Minute. Just Another Fanboy.
Yay. I'm sorry if I'm starting class. I have had a headache all day. So if I look like I'm a little bit pained, it's not you. It's not entirely you.
It's usually me.
Partially.
I can admit that.
I'm also getting kind of warm, and I have something on underneath this, so don't get freaked out.
All right.
So you have a t-shirt. No. Not that kind of stuff.
Well, you see this t-shirt?
Yeah.
For those at home, this will be a wonderful segment. There's nothing on it. There's just little flecks of stuff. This was just another Fanboy t-shirt that I made through one company, one of those t-shirt companies.
Quality
bought it.
Item.
Yeah. The t-shirt itself is awesome. It's a Hanes beefy tee. Washed it once and half of the graphic came off. Half of the graphic, first wash, just off. And so I'm like, okay, well, obviously I need to switch companies. Now, I know that there's somebody out there, New Mutant, who bought the same t-shirt and he's never had that issue from that same company before I switched.
Maybe you got a bad one.
Yeah. Still.
Well, when we went to Ocean City, New Jersey for vacation, I wanted an Ocean City t-shirt. I don't think I'd gotten one yet. I wanted a souvenir because we'd go there like every other year. And they had a lot of t-shirts on sale, so I got one for like $8. And first wash, it's like every piece of it's peeling off. And yeah, I should have known that's what. But someone else got one. I think it was okay. But yeah, at least only half of yours. My whole thing doesn't look great.
Well, it's taken a couple of washes, but I have a different one. I have my Be Nice to Each Other t-shirt, which did the same thing. And it's just completely blank now. There's nothing on it. It's just a black t-shirt.
Why do you have a t-shirt that says that?
Because that's what I say at the end of every episode. Be nice to each other.
But you don't do it. You're so
Shut
mean.
up.
See? Hey, you know what my beard does that yours doesn't? The one thing I have that you don't.
What's that?
I have like this line now, like this dark line. Like I used to have one patch of white. Now, like I have white on both sides. I just noticed this recently. It's just like this line of right down the center.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's cool.
Like a reverse skunk.
It is sort of.
It's pretty sweet.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone with something like that in their beard. So I got to have something. So that's it.
You should get that stuff that washes the gray out of your hair and just do it. You just use that one strip to keep it dark at all times. Okay. For those at home, Harrison is back.
Harrison is back. We're giving an update to the listeners about when you come in and go away.
This is going to be his favorite episode.
He said, "Oh, hi." He's actually handling it all right. What are you playing? You still playing Smite? What are you playing? He's playing Overwatch. He's getting into Overwatch again.
What's Overwatch?
It's how do you describe Overwatch? It's a class-based competitive shooter, first-person shooter. You have all these different characters with different abilities, but it's a first-person shooter, and you got to
shoot them up.
Yeah, but you work with a team and you keep like a specific part of the map safe from the other team, and they got to try to get in and take it over, and you just win matches. And
that sounds fun.
After every game, you have a chance to. I think you accumulate points where like you get to open these boxes that you can get a different like skin for your character.
Gross.
He just said it's like Valorant, but I don't know what Valorant is because I haven't played that game yet.
Or my young listeners will understand. I don't have any young listeners.
You might.
I might.
You don't know who all of your listeners. Well, do you? You might know who all your listeners are.
Yeah, I don't know. What platform is he playing it on?
He's playing on PC.
PC.
He's been on PC for a while now.
Old school.
You've never really had a console, have you? You've always been PC. Unless you played on one of my older systems. Mainly, right now we're playing 7 Days to Die. It's a survival game where you survive in the wilderness, but there's also zombies. And every 7 days, a gigantic horde comes out at night. There's zombies other times, but this huge horde comes out, and you need to prepare for when that happens. So we had this base. I watched a YouTube video on like a good one to build, but we have this base where like we made you can see through we have a second floor, but the ground's made up of like bars, so you can look through it and see the zombies coming in. You can shoot at them through the floor and stay safe above them. And anyways, fun game. Yeah. I'm not at all a gamer because I think I would lose myself in video games, and my family would never see me again. Yeah.
So I stay away from them.
Yep.
There was a time I had a roommate who, back when I think it was the original PlayStation, back then, that's how long ago this was, who had Resident Evil and I played that all the time.
That game was creepy. The controls did not age well because it was like a tank. You'd move forward and the controls were very.
The zombies would always go, ugh. That's the sounds they make. Ugh.
You had such a small amount of ammo.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So.
Go ahead. I'm going to ask you this after the show because it's another rabbit trail.
Okay. So these 3 episodes of What If compared to the first 3 episodes of What If, which is your favorite chunk?
First 3.
First 3. Now, one of the jokes we made in the last episode was that for us, episode number 1 was awesome. Episode number 2 was a little bit worse. And episode 3 was even a little bit worse. And we were worried that as the show progressed, each episode would get worse and worse and worse. I'm not finding that myself.
Nope.
That's good.
Nope.
That's good.
And I think 1 and 2 were pretty close in quality myself. I think I like them for different reasons.
Hey folks, please excuse the interruption, but I was sitting here on one of eastern Kansas's many beautiful beaches, listening back to this episode on cassette tape, which is all part of my episode post-production routine. And first, I just want to say, for those of you who are still with us, still hanging on, then kudos to you. Because yeah, it feels like we stopped talking about What If several hours ago. So again, big props to you. But here's the thing. As I was listening along, I realized that there's about to be something that Harold is going to react to that you, the listener, well, you just can't see it. So when he reacts in the way that he reacts, you're going to be left out of the moment. And so you should know that what happens here is that I show Harold an old toy of mine, a 15-inch tall plastic Chewbacca from the late 70s and made by Kenner, which would of course be pretty sweet, but this one happens to be missing both of his arms. So again, please forgive the interruption, but I felt you needed the information. So now I'm gonna go back to chilling on this beach as I get this tape started back up so that you can hear the reaction of my Chewbacca reveal. Enjoy.
I have that! Except with the arms.
Yeah, my parents dropped off a box of my stuff the other day, and in it, this wasn't even mine, it was my older brother's.
Oh.
But it's the old, how tall would you think that's?
He's like 7 inches. No, it's got to be more than 7 inches. Like a foot.
At least 12, yeah. 12-inch plastic Chewbacca.
He had
arms at one point.
And the gun.
Oh, yeah. Crossbow. The crossbow was awesome.
It's funny how all our toys are just missing stuff.
Yeah.
I had there was a show called The Bionic Man, or The $6 Million Man.
Yes.
There was one episode with the Bigfoot.
And
I had the toy. And
with the chest.
Square. You had that too?
Heck yeah. That's where my we grew up in that time where Bigfoot was kind of a thing.
Oh, he was a thing. There was a show called In Search Of? Or was it there's 2 shows, In Search Of, and there's a different one. Maybe that's the same show, but there was one about Bigfoot. And that one scene where they had this grainy black and white scene going over this just barren, and there's just this rock. And as you go past the rock, suddenly the rock gets up and moves, and that scared the crap out of me.
Oh man, I was so into Bigfoot. It felt like every 6 months or something, there'd be some special on TV that was like the search for Bigfoot, and I had to watch it, but then I would have nightmares because of it. It's like I wanted Bigfoot. I just knew he was real, but it terrified me at the same time.
Yeah, I was scared to look. I was just scared to look around outside after all because I was scared a rock would stand up and move after seeing that.
Yep.
But yeah, I had that toy, and there was actually a Bionic Man toy where it was another version of him, but you could take off the face and change faces, and he had like this claw arm, and you could switch it with other arms. And toys were better back then, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't think I had that toy. I remember it distinctly. I don't think I had it. I think we had the one where you could look through his bionic eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And like there's a thing, I think you push something on his. No, you could roll his sleeve up. He had like this fake skin.
Yes.
Rolled up and see like, and I think you could pull the. Oh wow, memories.
See, I was lucky enough to have an older brother and a younger brother. So there was a lot of toys around my house because of that.
That's good.
And we were only a couple of years apart. So the Star Wars phase was me and my older brother. And then by the time G.I. Joe came around, my older brother was out of toys, but my little brother was getting into toys, and I was still into toys at that point. So G.I. Joe was a thing for the two of us.
You guys didn't get into Transformers?
We did, but didn't have a lot of Transformers. I thought Transformers were totally cool, but
they were one of my favorite. Those toys were cool.
I didn't have many. I had Soundwave. Soundwave. Cool. Soundwave. He's the tape deck, right?
What?
The tape deck. Soundwave. He was the tape deck, right? Yeah.
Did you ever read the Transformers More Than Meets the Eye comic? I think I sent you some DRM free. I think I bought you a bundle for like $1, but it had like the first couple of volumes. You would. Do you like Justice League International?
Yeah.
You have to read this. I know it's Transformers.
Right, I'll look for it.
It's one of the best. I started reading it again, and it's just as good reading it again the second time.
Is that IDW or?
Yes, James Roberts is the writer. He came out of nowhere. He was a fan. He just wrote fan fiction, and they hired him. I don't know what the whole story is, but he's so good. It's so funny too. It's such a funny comic. Anyway, it's on. Do you have Comixology Unlimited?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's on there. It's all on.
All right.
You don't need to buy it.
I'll look for it. Right now, I'm gonna try to. Right now, I'm reading that Hawkeye run. I want to try to read the full Hawkeye run before the show starts.
Drop everything and read Transformers.
I'll check it out. I'll tell you what. Let me go to Comixology right now.
Keep bothering you, and you can ignore me.
No, I'm not logged in. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's a pain.
I don't want to log in. More Than Meets the Eye. More than meets the eye.
Just make sure James Roberts is the writer. Okay. Start with the Death of Optimus Prime. That's a special that sets up 2 different Transformers series, but read Death of Optimus Prime.
Let's see.
He's on his phone right now for all you listeners. He's got 3 cameras on his phone, or maybe it's 2 cameras and 1 flash. It's fancy. He's got one of those handhelds that you hold your phone with if you're too lazy to actually hold a phone. It helps you hold your phone.
It's a pop socket.
Pop socket, dumbest thing in the world that everyone buys.
No, I love it. I've tried other, I try to hold it without the pop socket anymore, and I feel like I'm going to drop it.
But wow, really?
Yep. We recently upgraded all of our phones, so
it does look fancy. What kind of phone is that?
It's a 12.
It's an iPhone?
Yeah.
Oh. So it's going to go obsolete in about 5 minutes, and you got to buy another one. Got it.
Well, it already is.
See?
Because they just announced the new 13.
See? Well, I hope you enjoy it anyway, and I'm going to stop being so cynical.
I do. I mean, I had an iPhone 8 Plus, which I really enjoyed. There we go. Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. Volume 1. James Roberts.
Yep, and read Death of Optimus Prime right before that.
Okay, Death of Optimus.
Like a picture of the toy on the front cover.
Prime. Let's see what comes up here. There you go. Series. Okay. See if it'll let me borrow. I don't think
Don't worry about reading everything before that, because it's kind of like something happens, but they catch you up on it. James Roberts actually wrote a little bit of the stuff before that, but you don't need it. It's just so good.
All right.
I feel like I'm raising your expectations so high, it'll never be met. But
I feel at this point that this comic is going to literally change my life.
I wish that they would hire him to write Justice League. I don't know what he's writing right now. I think I do. I saw what he was writing. I didn't recognize it. It might be based on like a TV show or a kid's show. I'm not sure. I'm going to look it up. But anyway, don't keep me from. Are you still recording?
I'm still recording. I've borrowed it.
Thanks for sticking in. Thanks for hanging in with us. If you're still here, then good on you.
I can't think of anything clever to say at this point, which usually means it's probably time to wrap it up.
Probably. Then we'll think of something to say right before you wrap up that we forgot about. Probably not.
There you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Harold and I had a ball. Hopefully he can come back one more time when I talk about episodes 7, 8, and 9 and wrap up this whole What If trifecta trilogy of episodes thing. Hey, remember, if you feel inclined to throw a little support my way, you can join my Patreon at patreon.com/StephenRR for just $1 a month. Or you can just get out there and tell all your friends about the show. Word of mouth is huge when it comes to podcasts. I mean, I can tweet and post and do everything I can do all across social media to try to get the show in front of people, but nothing brings the people to a show like word of mouth. Spread the word, Thunderbird. Let your voice be heard. Tell them about the nerd that is most preferred. But until then, join me back here next week where you might hear me say, I mean, sure, I like pickles and everything, but I wouldn't bake them in a cake. Until such time, I'm Steven, and I'm just another fanboy. Be nice to each other.
Bye-bye, Daddy.
Bye-bye, Daddy.
Good job.